Hi, here's a fun video. I am not an expert on science, so this is just a guesstimation. I'm also not an expert on energies, but I deal with energies a lot. So it's kind of a multi-guesstimation theory that I have. My coat just unzipped a little bit because I'm sitting cross-legged. Anyways, so I deal with a lot of energies that are constantly trying to get me to fail, and it's really annoying because I want to do things that will help improve the way that we live on this planet. I think a lot of people want to do that. I think it's very important to be a productive member of a society that you're in, and we're a human society, right? So I try to be productive, and I have a lot of ideas that can help, so I try to do things. I really care about the environment, the plants and nature and stuff, and the way that the ecosystem controls the weather and or is controlled by HARP. I don't know. There's a lot of theories that I have. Do we even have a natural ecosystem anymore? I don't know. But anyways, I think that nature is really important. The environment is really important. We're supposed to not only try to help it, but respect it and understand it fully, right? And I could be wrong, but this is a theory that I have. And it has to do with what I go through in daily life. I'm trying to be productive on small scales so that I can be more productive in the future. I think a lot of energies are like, no, you need to fail because this planet needs to be destroyed because it's a failure. Fear isn't lit right now. Take Mars, for example. I don't know what happened on Mars. Maybe it slowly fizzled out. Maybe there was an alien nuclear war. I don't know. But either way, Mars is a red planet that is basically like sand or something and doesn't have an atmosphere that we consider to be an atmosphere like ours anymore and or ever. But the general theory that most people go by is that it used to have an atmosphere and it doesn't anymore. I think that there are probably beings and or energies and or whatever that exist on this planet that think that if the planet gets destroyed, then at least humans won't be such a problem anymore. And then, I'm just thinking about other things now, and then that'll make it better if this planet is destroyed, or at least if humanity dies or whatever. The thing is, we made plastic, and that's the thing that changes it, in my opinion. And this is not the first time that I've thought about it. It's something I think about a lot because I care about the planet very much. I care about, and when I say planet, I don't necessarily mean like beings. Like humans are animals, and I care about animals. So I guess I care about humans too. But I care about the actual like living planet that we're on. And from what I understand about plastic, is that plastic is made from oil. If you want to turn plastic back into oil, you need to put it in a airtight pressurized machine of some sort and pressure heat it back to oil. There might be other ways to do it. I don't know. But that's the way that large companies do it. And large companies usually go by the most effective way to do something. And it makes sense that you would have to do it that way. I know because I have, in my downtime, theorized on how I could make it a household activity to just get rid of your own plastic and turn it back into oil so that it's not everywhere. My theory is, and I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, but my theory is that if the world went into some apocalyptic doomsday end of the world, volcanoes going off and meteors hitting and nuclear war and all of those different things, any one of those things, if the atmosphere depleted and the sun burnt this planet alive, all of those things, the vacuum of space might be enough of a pressurized system to turn all of the plastic back into oil, and then this planet would be naturalized enough to become or not become whatever it would be. However, I don't think that space is empty. I think that there's still matter because hydrogen particles exist, and I don't think that there's no particles in between. They call it a vacuum. I personally don't believe in the vacuum theory, and I haven't in a long time. I think that there's probably I don't know. It just doesn't see. Why would stuff float so easily if it was because if it's a vacuum, then it would be I don't know. Vacuum doesn't make sense to me. But I could be wrong. And that could be the answer to all of this. Maybe we all should die, and we just need to make sure that the entire atmosphere depletes so that the vacuum of space can kill us, and then the planet will be fine. But if that's not going to work, which it doesn't really seem like it would, just theoretically, because if you completely depleted the energy system of the planet and it didn't have anything in the core to keep anything going, then maybe that would work. But the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, right? Unless it does. But I don't think that the moon has an atmosphere, but it still has enough something to do stuff to the oceans and the tides and stuff, right? Unless none of that is real. I don't know. There's possible ways that maybe everything could be completely naturalized and depleted. I'm calling it naturalized, I guess. But the way that I see it is if we had a nuclear war or something like that, and things got really intense and stuff, the plastic wouldn't go back to oil, but it would melt like it would if you put it in an oven and make stuff out of it. Because I think about making stuff out of plastic a lot, because at least if you can put the plastic useful places for now, then it keeps it out of too many places. It makes less microplastic if you make larger things out of plastic that aren't going to turn into microplastic. It's a side thought that I have sometimes. And if the planet did get really hot, then theoretically would the plastic just start to melt, and would it become kind of like a plastic planet? Like, not the whole planet wouldn't be plastic, but it would be enough plastic that it would actually be far worse for the planet to go through some terrible thing, because humanity is at the point where it already made enough plastic that it's that big of a problem. It's just a theory that I have, but I deal with an energy that I used to refer to as honey quite a lot, and I think that I'm always trying to make things more productive, and we can solve these problems. And I think that he's we just gotta fucking fuck this shit. And I'm like, do you even think that far? Do you even think about how it wouldn't save the planet to have some big thing happen? It might just turn the plastic into a never-ending plastic-ish planet. And I don't know a lot about it, but plastic has a very long shelf life that we don't even have a number for before it disintegrates. So yeah, this is my theory. All right, great.